Alright, cool. We should be good now.
And I'm recording, just in case.
Okay, cool beans. So, last time we basically finished up on Cato Nemoidia. So you guys had sort of discovered the actual happenings that went on about 20-ish years ago with the Jedi Knight Soldier Ward, who now seems to have been or have become a fallen Jedi. Long story short, there was a peace delegation from the Separatists that came by and wanted to start a ceasefire with the Republic over Cato Nemoidia. And using his powers of foresight that are sort of unique to him, Soldier Ward was convinced that this peace delegation would come in and use it as a ruse to launch an actual assault on the city instead of signing a peace treaty. And unable to convince his fellow Jedi that this was going to happen, he decided to take matters into his own hands and killed the peace delegation. And then in his sort of fall from grace, he got into a battle with the other two Jedi that were stationed to the planet, an Ithorian and a Twi'lek. Killed both of them. He was gravely injured himself. Eyewitnesses said that he was mortally injured. There's no way he would have survived for very long, but he was able to escape in his starfighter. And the holocron, now armed with the new information that you guys got from the next piece of the puzzle, the next Kyber crystal, was able to tell you where he had planned on going. And he was going to the planet of, New Canon calls it Moraband. You might know it as Korriban from the Old Republic games. Basically the origin planet for the Sith some 20-odd thousand years ago.
Going to the Sith starting zone, alright.
Yep, so we're going to get through levels 1 through 10 today, and there's a flashpoint at the end.
Yeah.
Alright, no time to waste, let's get to it.
One other sort of important detail too, I think you had heard from the Holocron too, that the motivation that the Holocron was able to sort of piece together from these last moments that it still had contact with Soldier Ward was that he was going to Moraband because he saw a vision of his own death, and he knew that he would go to Moraband to die. So that's why he was heading in that direction, which would sort of fit with his whole gravely injured thing.
I think that you not go to the place where you knew you were going to die, but I don't know.
It's a Jedi thing.
Jedi just are obsessed with their own deaths. I don't know what it is. It's having the fate of the world on your shoulders.
Like elephants. Go to the graveyard.
And there's some hyenas there.
Force hyenas.
So what's our angle on getting here? I imagine as it is well, first of all, do we know how heavily guarded this area is, seeing as how it's the birthplace of the Sith, or what they I guess would consider their Hearthstone or whatever. I'm imagining it would be pretty heavily protected or scrutinized.
The last thing we did in the session was that Gunnis made a roll, which obviously it's a knowledge roll or whatever, so no one really knows that he failed the roll, but he failed the roll. And narratively, what happened was he decided that there would be serious defenses, and the last thing he said last session was, "We're going to Korriban, and Sunrise Fleet is coming with us." Or Temple Fleet. I'm sorry, Temple Fleet. That's what we named it.
Taking our army.
So, I mean, are we going to fight our way through, or are we planning on going in with some sort of cover and having Temple Fleet just back us up?
So the intel that Gunnis has is that it should just be to cover us in case there's a patrol or something that comes by.
I'm down for that.
Now, out of character, we know that may be wildly incorrect, but that's part of the fun of doing things cinematically.
Yeah, but it was a fail-forward kind of roll.
Yeah.
So since you're sort of bringing along the cavalry with you, and since Moraband is kind of far out, like it's on the outer edges of the outer rim, sort of like, I think if I remember right, it's like the far northeast of the galaxy. Actually not terribly far from where Temple Base is to begin with. Sort of like the old heartlands of the Sith Empire. It would take a while to get there. And then we had also talked at the end of the last session about how like star charts don't currently show Moraband/Korriban. I'm just going to call it Korriban. They don't actually show on the maps because the Empire has tried to keep its location a secret. It's basically forbidden territory, and the Empire has sort of let knowledge of this planet fall even more into obscurity. Like even around the time of the Clone Wars, a lot of people wouldn't have known about this planet, and now it's just even worse.
Yeah, you said something about the hyperlane shifting, so we know the location. The holocron, the Grey Jedi holocron, told us that, but we really don't know how to get there precisely. And I do remember something about X-wings. So we're doing it.
Yeah, I conferred with Drone about that. We have 8 X-wings on Temple Base. They've replaced the Z-95 headhunters that we had.
And that was thanks to the side mission that Killbot ran. So if you look at that map, just for anybody who's curious, Temple Base is sort of where the A is in Felucia, right below Korriban. So it's not very far off.
Oh yeah,
at
it's,
all.
it's like right next to us, kind of, as far as star maps go, anyway.
And I don't know exactly where Cato Nemoidia is. I think it's somewhere closer to the core. It's like in the inner rim or the colonies, I think. But yeah, anyway, the way that we were going to sort of work with that, you know, having these 1,000-year-old or 3,000-year-old hyperlane routes would just be to make it an unusually hard astrometrics check. And I checked up on astrometrics checks too, like especially in this book. Even if you fail the roll, you still get there. You just have some complications. Either it takes too long, or you hit some gravitational anomalies and the ship takes some strain, or something like that. So that's not that big of a deal. There is sort of like an introductory mini mission that we can do to get the actual coordinates for it, but it looks extremely dumb. And I think we already have a narrative, like a good narrative reason anyway, from having 2 holocrons in our possession now. So
Yeah, let's just do it.
Yeah.
Who's our best astrogator? Is it me?
Likely.
I don't have it, so
And don't tell us that there are no implications for failing. If you fail, you die.
the ship runs into a sun. Sunset.
Yeah, it was good. So I have astrogation. So I guess it's me.
If your int's less than 3, I can support.
I have 3 int.
Yeah. I'm int 4 astrogation 1.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I guess Sep can assist. He has int 3, astrogation 1, so.
Okay, the difficulty on it is going to be 4 purples.
Ooh.
My astromech droid might be helpful.
Yes. Wow, how
So
many
these
skills does it have?
astromech droids are not useful.
Ever.
What? Not in my George Lucas Star Wars.
You got the agromech droid, not the astromech droid.
Oh, nice. Love those. So he is astrogation 3 and elect 2. So I don't think he actually really helps.
His ranks can support you with a skilled assist. So instead of rolling 1 yellow, you can roll 3 plus 1 green.
Oh, really? I thought he had to be better on both.
No, it's the better of either.
Oh, okay. Well, that's pretty good then. So yeah, I'll roll that. That's pretty fucking sweet.
Nice. Mostly.
So we don't fly into a star cluster.
Yep, you would have needed 3 threat to fly into a star, so you are totally good. Yeah, you succeed in the roll. It'll take you, like, if you just take a direct route, and if it were just the sunrise, it would take you 48 hours to get there from here. It's up to you. Since, like, you're bringing a fleet along with you, do you want to, like, stop off at Temple Base first, or have them meet up with you somewhere and then arrive all at the same time? Or, like, how do you want to do that?
Let's go to Temple Base and leave from there. It's so close by anyway. And that will let us load X-Wings into our bay.
I mean, X-Wings have hyperdrives, too.
Yeah, okay. I mean, we could bring all the X-Wings, I suppose.
Like, I just don't know exactly what you're bringing along, like, if you're taking everything with you or not.
You know, I feel that we should leave X-Wings to defend Temple Base. I think it would be irresponsible to take everything. So I think leave 2 X-Wings behind. What do you guys think?
They also have the Corellian Corvette.
Well, the Corvette's coming with us. That's part of our fleet.
Oh, the Corvette's coming with. Oh, wow. Yeah, I would say, like, no fewer than 2 ships on Temple Base. Like, we could probably just split half and half, 4 and 4.
So for the viewers at home, Temple Fleet consists of the Sunrise, then you have the CR-90 Corvette, which is the Dawn Star, and then there's a Gozanti-class cruiser that you guys had gotten at the beginning of the Yonder the Hutt mission a while back. That's called the Eclipse. That has 3 6 starfighters. They're pretty sick. You got the 2 HLAFs in the Wayfarer, and then all these X-Wings at Temple Base.
Yeah, let's just bring 4 and leave 4 behind and bring 4 with. So we'll have 4 X-Wings with us. I don't think we need to dwell on it too much. I think that's a fine decision.
Yeah, it's like the balance between base defense, our mission, and arousing suspicions when we get there.
And I feel like even if our base gets attacked, 4 X-Wings probably won't be enough to defend it. I don't know.
No, the default is run like hell.
Yeah, that's kind of what I figured.
Yeah, the X-Wings would cover the
Like a little
transports.
mini Hoth. All right, so if we're stopping back off at Temple Base, does anybody have any role play at the base that they want to do before we start this next part of the thing? Or I don't know how you guys want to do that. Like, I don't have anything specific for you to do at the base, but we can always roll with it.
So I had a mechanics role during the interim, and I did want Alice to have the chance to talk to Soldier Ward's holocron, because up until now, everything about the Jedi has been from watching Zep and hearsay, and so maybe she can take the time to actually interact with the living memories of an actual Jedi Master.
Well, he's fallen, so I don't know if we want to really trust him or not.
The holocron hasn't fallen. Like, at the point where the
That's true.
holocron had been made, he was still a Jedi and not fallen. And again, allegedly fallen. We don't know the circumstances around it. I'm not saying this to defend him. I'm just saying we want to make sure we know all the options.
Yeah, we know he's fallen if the holocron turns into a pyramid shape and glows red.
Holocrons, at least according to the book, like, if he had fallen, the holocron would be unaffected. It would
Oh,
still
yeah.
be like a shard of the light side Soldier Ward or whatever.
His
Like if
imprints.
How many
like if
steps in a row
Anakin
to get
Skywalker had made a holocron. How many what?
Just 1 step? Okay. Sorry, I should have typed that. That was just, Zep needs his lightsaber fixed. So I'm going to take a look at it.
This ancient technology. Why do you use laser swords? What's wrong with the blaster?
Clumsy and inefficient.
But you see, laser swords have breach and
Breach and lots of cool shit. So yeah, she'll take the time to talk to the holocron, talk about the Jedi, what life was like during the Clone Wars. But inevitably she'll ask the question, something like, so if the Jedi are supposed to be these arbiters of peace, guardians of justice, and this was before my time, so I don't have the full story. But I just have to question, what were the Jedi doing fighting in a galactic war?
So the holocron, the gatekeeper, sort of like crosses his arms and looks contemplative and says, "That's a good question that that many of us Jedi have had to fight with over the years as the Clone Wars have raged. To be honest, not many of us know exactly how we came into this situation and how this war truly began. Some of us have some suspicions, but in the end of the day, the Jedi are here to defend the Republic, and the Republic was attacked by the forces of the Separatists, and so it fell upon the Jedi in the absence of an experienced core of leaders to come in and take matters into our hands. And there are many of us who don't like this. Those few of us who chose not to take an active part in the war have generally tried to stay farther away from civilization and sort of tending to their own areas of the galaxy.
Oh, yeah, Alice raises her eyebrows at that. So, like, maybe there might be the occasional hermit out there. Okay, that's pretty cool. The other thing she'll do is reconstruct the dead Jedi's lightsaber that she found. So the mechanics rolls I did in roll 20 represent 3 things. The first one is to reforge the hilt into a Shoto hilt. So that cost me, I think, 12 hours plus 100 creds. The second roll and the third roll, those were to modify the crystal. So decreasing the difficulty by 2 because it's my personal lightsaber. I think you add force rating for that too, for success as an advantage. So the lightsaber is now a Shoto with concussive 2.
That's the tiny little lightsaber, right?
Yep. It's a Yoda lightsaber. It's even green.
Oh, it's adorable.
So now Alice has the whole Christmas tree color thing going on. She has a red one and she has a green one. Just in time for the Christmas special.
Santa the Hutt is going to love that.
Yeah, while we're traveling, do I need a medicine, everyone, or is everyone like good?
Zep is fine.
Gunnis continues to be unwounded. I think I've only been wounded once in the entire campaign.
That sounds like you want me to change that.
So, I do want to note, during this lightsaber construction, would it be okay if Alice will ask Zep for permission, because it seems like he's a Jedi, it's important to him, and he's carrying the holocron out around with him all the time. But Alice would like Sojo Ward's instruction during the lightsaber creation.
Yeah, so Zep is going to be completely down with that. So he just takes out the holocron like it ain't no thing, and just hands it off to Alice and says, hey, look, just be careful. As we get closer and closer to completing this, he might get closer and closer to where he was when he fought those 2 Jedi. And if he'd fallen at that point, he might be unreliable. So just, I trust you to trust your feelings.
Yeah, that's a good point. We'll see what the last, maybe final memory module will do to this. Yeah, I'll be careful.
Yep, so he hands it off and goes, and I guess he's going to spend some time with the librarian. In public.
Did you want to roleplay that, or do you want to deep roleplay that?
I just want to kind of like write up a quick narrative about what happens.
Okay.
Yeah, and the scene I envisioned for Alice was this gives her another opportunity to interact with this old dead religion, like ancient, even though it's been 20 years. And she'll hear, I'm sure, the classic. Look up the YouTube video on the Old Republic when your player character in that MMO is creating their lightsaber for the first time. Probably similar words, similar credos. This blade is meant to protect the innocent, represents hope and valor. All that good stuff.
Cool. Anybody else have any temple base shenanigans to get up to?
Zep is going to upgrade his lightsaber. At the very least, I'd like to get a curved hilt for it. And I've got a contribution rating boon left. Is there any way I could get something more specialized for it?
Give me 2 seconds, and I need to find the lightsaber modification rules. But I'm definitely open to stuff like that.
Okay.
Curved is a handle. It's an attachment.
Correct. Yeah, I'm talking about something additional. I'll just PM you, Drone.
Okay, great. Oh, did you already have in mind exactly what you wanted?
I have a few ideas. I just wanted to workshop them with you, and yeah. So I'll just PM you.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah, attachments don't require any roll to attach. Modding attachments do, but Force users have an advantage in that if you are modifying attachments on your own personal lightsaber, as defined by you owning the lightsaber and using it all the damn time, you get a -2 difficulty, and if you're modding the crystal, you get to add Force rating to the roll.
Oh, wow, really?
So it's pretty hard to fail. And keep in mind, I think it's like you need a despair for things to just break. If you fail, I don't think you can.
There's an important point here. When it says reduce the difficulty, those are not downgrades. So after the first mod, you will have red dice. Just period. You can't get rid of them. Unless you have an ability that literally says downgrade and not reduce.
I thought you increase the difficulty, you don't upgrade the difficulty. For modding.
It says upgrade. Yep, absolutely says upgrade. You are going to have red dice. So you are going to have a 1 in 12 chance for every red die of blowing up the attachment and losing all your mods.
Oh no!
That is how that's how they prevent you. What's that?
It's like Phantasy Star Online.
Yeah, and a million other MMOs. Yes, that is kind of what it feels like. The further you mod it, the higher the chance that it blows the fuck up, basically.
That makes modding seem a lot worse than you thought it was.
Oh, when I created your thing, we didn't do any mods. We just crafting and doing mods on attachments are different things.
The first modding session that Gunnis and I ever did, like between sessions, I could like hear the sweat rolling down his forehead.
This is weird because in Force and Destiny, sorry about the rules chat, but each additional mod installed in an attachment beyond the first increases the difficulty of the mechanics check by 1. It says increases.
Oh, is it different in Force and Destiny?
It could be
We don't have to hang the session up on it, but I'll sidebar and look it up when we're not doing stuff.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that's a good idea.
So Zep now has a curved Schwartz.
Lean slightly to the left.
You know, I hear that is a bonus.
You said bone.
Oh, we're all adults. All right, so we want to head to Korriban.
Crack's gonna write a letter to mommy. Send some money.
Oh yeah, Mama Crack. So the whole, since I wasn't here for the session when it went down, but wasn't like one of Crack's brothers a casualty in the Killbot session?
Yep. Sure did kill him.
I ended up making the fate of that individual somewhat vague.
Yeah, we're not sure if he actually died.
But I had the idea that So Hrack's part of a big family, writes home to mom a lot, and the kids just love hearing stories about big badass Hrack. And so maybe one of them, because Trandoshans often fall into this occupation, ends up taking up bounty hunting. It's like, cool, I'm going to make a name for myself just like my big brother. And he somehow falls in with this more experienced bounty hunter that is actually working for Yandra the Hutt to find information and technology on the ship stealthing capability that the Imperials have since managed to re-research in like the year and a half since Liana. And they ended up on Felucia because that's where the guy was that had the technology that Arjun and Gank were trying to rescue. They ended up throwing punches, and the guy is like, last we saw as moviegoers on the ground in the jungle.
So, like TBG, we can talk about it offline if you want. But like, are you cool with a potential brother of your character being killed? And
Don't bug me. That's cool. I like the premise. It's drama.
does that have any bearing on the letter to Hrack Mama?
I don't think so, because I think they're like he sends messages one way, not the other way, so that she could never get used against him or whatever, right? Or vice versa. Like no one could threaten her to give up his location. Classic Trandoshan family setup, you understand. And so
very loving and close.
Yeah, exactly. He wouldn't have heard news, but I think the offline stuff could be him, someone getting a message to him. So let's handle that offline.
Cool.
I'll lick a killbot.
Yeah, I had that backstory, and I was like, oh, we should probably use it.
Okay. Gank, were you doing anything at the base? I think you're the last one. It's cool if not.
Probably all I do is check in on the trainees for the sniper brigade or whatever we're calling them.
Yeah, you can call them whatever you want. Gank's sharpshooters.
Yeah, I'll think of something. But yeah, so nothing special.
Gunnis would check in with administration staff and stuff. We don't need to roleplay it, but it is something that he would do before we left, like while everyone is rushing around, like, shuttling supplies and fueling everything and getting the fleet ready. He would check with the base administration staff and let them know what his decisions were and what was happening, and check up on anything that happened while he was gone, and leave directions for preparing the next phase of construction on the ship he was working on, etc.
Yeah, I think also Gunnis would have probably had so when he comes in and checks his space email or whatever Star Wars equivalent of that would be. I mean, it would probably just be a literal letter. There's also something there from Major Como. Up to you as a character. Do you want me to PM that to you at some point, or do you want me to just tell you now?
Does it need? Is it something that would be sensitive, or would it be something that Gunnis would just share with everybody?
It's something that you would probably share with everybody because I think it's something that would make Gunnis excited.
Yeah, then go ahead and just tell me here.
Okay, so Major Como is she was sort of okay, for those of you who don't remember, Major Como is the actual on paper commander of the base, even though Gunnis is the actual one. It's basically Gunnis's direct report, or Gunnis reports into her. And she left a note that she was leaving on a mission to rendezvous with her higher ups, and that she was hopeful for bringing back some supplies. She put supplies in quotation marks and a little space smiley face next to it, and then a little tiny drawing of a spaceship. And some gold stickers. Some glitter. Yeah, she put it in an envelope with glitter.
Oh, I got glitter bombed. It was the things that I put up with for you guys to make our mission succeed. Okay, yeah.
The gist of the letter is basically like, I'm going to convince my higher ups that we need to invest more in our cell, basically, and that she will arrive back shortly. She posted this letter probably a week or two ago, so she's been gone for a while.
I will let the administrator know to leave a or that I've left a data pad for the major when she arrives back, and in that I will basically just put the details of what we're doing, where we've been so far, and where I've taken Temple Fleet.
Cool. Okay, sorry for the brief pause. I'm getting PM'd by bunches of people.
So while that's going on, quick question about lightsaber attachments. Are grip and hilt the same thing? Can I have a curved hilt with a reflex grip?
Yeah, there's nothing that says you can't.
But like two different types of hilts you probably couldn't have, like an extended hilt and a curved hilt.
It could be curved and extended.
It's more of a logic question, right? Curved and extended makes sense, but like two different types of hilt that were like, like an epee grip style hilt and a normal hilt of some kind would be, contradictory.
Or like two different types of crystal.
Good.
Right, you can do that.
Cool.
What's the extended hilt? Is it like a two-hander or something?
Correct, yeah.
It adds damage, I think.
Yeah, I could see you having like curved and super long hilt.
I think I'm going to go with curved and reflex and install that gem that I found in the under portion of Temple Base. So what are the rules for adding? Well, actually, we'll just go over it later. For now, I'll just use the same thing I have. So. Killbot, if you could help me out later with what types of rolls I'm going to need to make, I'd appreciate it.
Yeah. So just slotting the crystal in itself is no roll. If you want to increase damage, increase its stats, then those get successively harder.
The crystal's literally just considered an attachment. So you stuff it in there and it takes up two hard points.
Yeah, and you're a Jedi, or Jedi in training, and so you're able to do the whole float parts in midair thing.
Cool. All right, I'm good.
Okay. So, that astrogation check showed us that you can get there within like 48 hours. So you depart Temple Base. As the map said in Discord, it's not terribly far geographically from Temple Base itself. So you guys set off with the fleet. And you had decided to take everything except for a couple X-Wings, right?
Yes, we left 4 X-Wings behind, took 4 X-Wings with us.
Great. So, when you guys come out of hyperspace, in the system the Korriban is located in, you see like the entire system is sort of like, I don't know, space is always desolate, but this one feels even more desolate than normal. Like there's only one star, only one planet in the entire system. It's like this tiny little ball orbiting this red giant star. It's like a burnt out wasteland that you sort of see on the sensors as you approach. Something else that you see on the sensors as you approach is, let me open my document here so I can tell you exactly how much of what you see is there. Okay, so as you approach the planet, you also see, maybe like visually, just dramatically, you see it first before the sensors pick it up. But you see sort of like silhouetted against this orange-red ball of dust that is the planet Korriban. You see a little, like because you're so far away, it looks really little tiny black wedge. And as you approach, this little tiny black wedge gets bigger and bigger. And then you see another little tiny wedge next to it. And the two forms resolve into the shapes of two Imperial ships.
Oh, shit.
So what are we going with this time, guys? Another archaeology / rock band expedition?
Worked last time.
I don't know. We got X-Wings with us. This is military hardware.
Yeah, there's no way that this is passing.
We really want to shit on our own doorstep. Hey, we just around the corner.
Yeah, we could just make it for planet side.
With the entire fleet?
Well, they can land. Can Star Destroyers land?
Star Destroyers can go to close orbit. You see it in Rogue One, but they don't really like touch down. So it's more like being a couple hundred feet above the ground and disgorging shuttles.
They'd be bombarding anything we had landed anyway. Bigger ships.
Are they Star Destroyers? You just said Imperial ships, right?
They're all wedges.
But Imperial ships themselves are almost all wedges.
Can we bring them up on the long-range scanners?
I'm sure somebody can if they rolled for it.
I think the Dawn Star has the best scanners.
Yeah, it's the biggest ship. It probably has the best one.
Yeah, sensor range long on the Dawn Star. The rest of us only have shorter medium.
So I got 2 yellows, 1 green, 1 boost for perception.
Yeah, but you're not on the Dawn Star.
But you guys are all like linked up in like a fleet, so I could see that. Like
Okay,
Alice
that's
sort of
fine.
lists relaying.
Difficulty?
We'll call it hard, but I'm going to give you a boost.
I'll assist with my knowledge of ships.
Dennis
So,
puts on his data goggles.
so 2 boosts, 2 perps.
3 perps.
Hard is
3
3.
perps.
Oof.
Womp womp.
This is cool. It could be dramatic. What do you have any ideas on the advantage? Otherwise, I have one.
No, go ahead.
So you can't make out the exact class of ships. You know that one of them is very big, compared to your ship anyway. One of them is about the same size-ish, maybe a little bit bigger. But you can't tell exactly what models these are. You can confirm that they both have Imperial transponders, though. And they are registering as the Imperial starships Firestorm and Prejudice.
Boy, that's some names right there.
Those are Imperial names.
Yeah, these are Greek to me. I'll relay that information to Gunnis. Maybe he'll know more.
Could I make maybe a warfare check to see if I know the service histories of those 2 ships?
Absolutely can. And I will say that is because of the size of the Imperial fleet, it's also hard, but I'll give you a boost for, your background. Being
Alright.
a fleet brat.
You want to guess what I'm going to do first?
Put on your data goggles.
How did you know?
Wow, there you go.
Okay, so I'll tell you what you know, and then you can tell me what the advantage might be. So you know that the Firestorm is a Vindicator class heavy cruiser. For people who aren't Shipsburgs, it's basically like a small little Star Destroyer. Like it's much bigger than anything you guys have in your fleet. It's Silhouette 7, I think. Yeah, Silhouette 7. It's basically like somewhere between a Corvette and like a Victory class Star Destroyer. Baby's first Star Destroyer, basically. This one has served for quite a long time. Maybe you knew of somebody who had served on it back when you were in the academy or something like that. And the other ship, that was the Firestorm. The other ship is the Prejudice, and that is a Vigil class corvette. Which is the one that's sort of like the size, roughly, of the Sunrise. A little bit bigger.
Yeah, it's closer to the CR90.
Do you have any ideas on the advantage?
Maybe I know the reputation of the person who used to be the captain of the Firestorm really well.
The person who used to be the captain, or the person who might still be?
I don't know if he is anymore. Right, he might still be, but I don't know.
Okay. Yeah, I like this. So you you know that the captain of the Firestorm, like when you knew him, he was much younger than he might be now, if he's still the captain. He had sort of a reputation for being like a middling officer. He was sort of like you. Maybe he was almost like not quite a rival to you in the academy, or like in the service, but sort of somebody that you two didn't like get along very well. He comes from a similar background. Like his family is all Navy veterans and whatever. But whereas you have all of the ability, like you inherited all of that from your family, he's just like coasting by on his name alone. So he's kind of like, he's like a House Steiner Imperial captain. Like he has no actual military chops, really.
Gotcha. Okay. Could I make a warfare check to estimate roughly how a battle between the two sides of ships would go?
Yes, you can make that. I'm trying to place a difficulty here. I think something like this, like being able to judge a battlefield, is something you probably learn pretty well in the academy, or at least the basics of it. We'll give it an average check, but I'm going to upgrade it once.
Ooh, it was close to being bad.
So in your estimation, if it were to come to a battle between the forces that you see here, the 2 Imperial ships and the 3+ starfighters that you guys have, you're roughly evenly matched. You have more ships, but your ships are smaller, slightly, and individually less well armed than like the heavy cruiser is. But using like your numbers to your advantage, you think it's 50-50. However, you may be like, given that you know the reputation of the person who at least used to command this ship, if you factor that in, you probably think that you can beat that commander, if he's still the actual commander, any day of the week. Just like by ability alone.
Okay. And do I know of, from like their sensors and shit, if we can? No, you know what? No, you know what? Cinematic is just punching a hole through them and getting to the surface of the fucking planet.
Rudy.
To that, I would say that Ozias has a good point, that once you're on the planet, there's nothing stopping you from, or them from, just glassing it.
Yeah, so I'm gonna contact the rest of the Temple Fleet and tell them to go to action stations and launch the first wave of fighters.
Got a voice.
And I think I'll go over the speakers too and give a little speech to the fleet.
Do you want to give an actual little speech to the fleet?
I don't have anything prepared, so let's wing it. So yeah, Gunnis will turn on the shipwide comm and link it to the transmission bands to the other ships, and he'll say, "There's something that's incredibly important to the rebellion on the surface of that planet, and we need to get to it. The only way is through both of those ships that are ahead of us. If we try to go down without taking care of them, there's nothing to stop them from orbitally bombarding our team. Trust your squadron leaders, and Gunnis is just going to kind of lean over to Zeph and be like, what am I supposed to say here? Something about the Force?
May the Force be with you.
That's it. May the Force be with you.
May the Force be with you.
What a world! What a world!
Everybody gets a boost die. I don't know why, because that was terrible, but everybody gets one.
So, like, as Gunnis is giving this this speech over the comms to the fleet, you sort of see, like, you're getting closer and closer at this point to the Star Destroyer, and you see, well, it's like a mini Star Destroyer. You see waves of little dots flying out of the hangar bay of the Vindicator, and like over your speakers comes like the notification from the commander of the ship, and it says, "Attention, unidentified fleet. This planet is quarantined by order of the Empire. Stand down your engines and shields. Prepare to be boarded. Your property is now forfeit. Stop, you violated the law."
What do you think? Blaster fire to the knee?
I'm gonna hail the Vindicator back.
I do it.
So Gunnis is just gonna snap the comm on real quick and say, "Lieutenant Commander Nesbo, it's time to see if your family name's worth anything." Turn it off again.
Zep looks at Gunnis and gives him a thumbs up.
Thumbs up for that.
Some like sniveling Imperial voice comes back over the radio and says, "It's Captain Nesbo now," and then you just hear the click. All right, so we're gonna test out some new rules. We're gonna do some mass combat stuff. So the way this works, I actually quite like how this works on paper. I don't know how it actually works in practice. That's kind of why we're doing this. So you guys are part of a larger battle that's going on right now. And the battle itself will abstract away in a series of phases. So like first phase, the two fleets meet. Second phase depends on what happens in the first. Like if your fleet has the upper hand in the first phase, then the leader of the fleet, Gunnis, or me, it's really up to you, can explain like how your fleet is currently winning, or like what sort of objective did they just fulfill. Likewise, if the enemy fleet does better on that roll, maybe you have a slight setback that comes into play for your fleet. Where the party comes into this is that you are portraying like a part of this action. So we'll like zoom in and we'll do like a normal space combat round, but you guys can tell me what priority would be for you during this battle, and your successes or failures will have an impact on that phase roll that we do to sort of see what happens in the background. So it maybe sounds a little complicated when I'm explaining it if you haven't read the rules, but it's super simple.
Sounds good. Let's jump in.
All right, so the first step then we'll just do like a general phase of the battle to determine like our starting forces, and then you guys can tell me once we take care of that. You guys can tell me what you are individually doing, or like I don't know if the Sunrise is fulfilling some specific objective in this battle, like clearing out some TIE fighters or something, and then we can run through that and then proceed to the next phase. So the first thing that we have to do is build up our dice pool for this specific check. This might take a little longer since it's our first time doing it. Basically, we have to compare the strengths of the both sides. So I sort of went through already and defined the strength of your fleet as what's called imposing. This means that you have like numerous combat modified transports, or a couple wings of starfighters, maybe a single big cruiser, something like that. And the enemy fleet is currently also imposing. They have a single cruiser, and then a smaller attached cruiser to them, and the starfighters that are sort of disgorging from their hull. So that gives us a base pool of 3 greens and 3 purples already. and then we modify this based on the leadership of the leaders of each fleet. So, Gunnis, what is your leadership?
My leadership is 3, and I also get a boost die automatically on leadership. Technically 3 yellow, 4 green, because I'm 4 purple presence, but yeah.
Yeah, it just says to take the leadership rating, not the leadership plus the attribute.
Yeah, I figured. So it's 3. And I do get a boost die. I don't know if that's relevant.
It is. So your roll then becomes 3 yellows and a boost versus 3 purples. Now we have to figure out the leadership of the other guy. He is, like I said, not as good of a dude as you. He only has a leadership rank of 1. So the difficulty pool that you'll be going up against is 1 red, 2 purples. I am going to upgrade 1 so that it's 2 red and 1 purple.
I will upgrade as well.
Okay.
All right, I'm ready to roll.
All right. So keeping that in mind, the battle is going to start unfolding. So, like, I don't know, does anybody want to narrate what a battle looks like, or should I do that? Since it's our first time using these mass combat things, I don't know exactly how you want me to do it.
All I hear are the sirens, the alarms, lights flashing red, action stations.
Yep, maybe the sunrise is like starting to buck under some, like, I don't know, some indirect hits or something, like splashing off of the shields as the Star Destroyers off in the distance open up on you. And they're not Star Destroyers, but I'm just going to keep calling them that.
Pew, 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 pew.
So you got these waves of TIE fighters coming in from the heavy cruiser, from the Firestorm. And the little Corvette that's running alongside the Firestorm is going to start maneuvering towards the fleet, like to take up a position sort of like flanking you or trying to come around on one of your flanks. The TIE fighters come in from the heavy cruiser, and they're mainly targeting any fighters that you would have, number one, but then also trying to score in some hits on the actual fleet assets. And the Firestorm itself is going to be concentrating on the CR-90, as the 2 biggest ships probably going to slug it out with each other. So I need to know what you guys are going to do in this backdrop.
I guess I'll say that Zep is piloting the HLAF, just kind of taking out some of the first waves of TIE fighters that are coming in, taking like a little bit of light blaster fire to one of his wings, but still pretty much top operational condition.
So this part we actually do as an actual space combat. So it's like, you guys tell me what your objective is. If you just want to shoot TIE fighters, that's fine, but we play that out as an actual combat session.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So I guess I'm going to tell TBG to help our engineer do that combat recalibration that I know he's so fond of.
Oh yeah.
And I'll just be a leader figure on the bridge, and I'll be coordinating between the different ships.
I have some warfare, so no one's, unless anyone's hurt, but probably not yet. I'll probably also just do like some leadership type stuff for now. Once people start getting hurt, I'll probably help with that. But
Yeah, do we have a turret on this thing with an actual long-range gun?
You know what this guy says?
We have an ion cannon that is close range.
Short, not close, but yeah, it's not long range.
Bummer. I guess Alice will do her slicey thing. Which the one that's trying to flank us?
That is the Prejudice. That's the Vigil class Corvette.
All right, so my action will be to slice the enemy systems when we get to that.
Should we all just take a combat action like top to bottom?
So I think for the ones that are doing direct combat, like the ones that are actually shooting at things, we would do it initiative based probably. So like if Zep's out in the HLAF fighting some TIE fighters, I'll roll up a couple TIE fighters for him to be fighting against. Likewise for Alice using her slicing. So if you're doing anything active at shooting things or using a skill on the enemy, we can do it as initiative, and then the rest of you can just do it as like actions whenever you want to. Sort of homebrewing the space combat here a little bit.
Yeah, that's fun.
Yeah, I'll just be shooting whatever's close enough to shoot.
Until people get hurt, I'm probably just helping with the warfare. So I think I have less than Gunnis. I'd probably just boost him. Actually, now that I think about it.
If only we had Crack's sporting ship ready to go.
I know. I'm upset that I didn't have it finished in time. It'd be so much more interesting with him ramming into people.
If it makes you feel any better, both of these Imperial ships have like a lot of people on them.
Just gotta pop that. I mean, technically, if I pop my my ability right now, I kill every minion in this fight, right?
Yeah, you just gotta drag them all into a big room and just use that.
Beat the shit out of every single person.
We just put Harak in a spacesuit and just fucking like shoot him out the garbage chute or whatever, and he just swimming through space with a fucking chainsaw halberd killing TIE fighters.
Just like splats onto a TIE fighter's like view screen.
All right, so go ahead and roll up initiative, and I'll put together the TIE fighter dudes initiative.
Cool.
Yeah, I think it's cool. Cool's cool. There are a total. So the Firestorm disgorged a total of 12 TIE fighters. They're not all coming for the HLAF. Obviously, they're spreading things around a little bit, and they've got the X-wings to tango with. I'm gonna give Zep 2 to go up against right now in this combat round.
Sounds fair. I'm also going to use my specialization ability to add an additional success to that roll.
Okay.
If you want to represent it, you can just put one S when you're building the dice pool, and it'll add a success.
Oh yeah, but I just oh yeah, that's true.
You see, that's what I did on my roll.
This is where we have dead air for the viewers at home while I type in my initiative chart. Please hold. Your call is very important to us.
Your space call is very space important to us.
A GM will be with you momentarily.
And my first priority when we get back is finishing Harak's fucking ship. I want nothing more than to shoot that thing like a bullet out of our cargo hold. I told you I'm putting a slam on it, right? The sublight acceleration motor.
And that's the thing
Yeah.
that basically makes it a missile.
Yeah, it's basically going to be like a Speed 8 missile that comes out of our fucking cargo hold.
All right, so we got 3 players up first on this round of action. So setting the scene, you guys have this little mini battle going on around you. There's like turbo laser fire being exchanged between the CR-90 and the Firestorm, and then you got this Corvette sort of trying to do a flanking maneuver, plinking away with with its laser cannons at one of the other ships, maybe firing at like the Gozanti cruiser or something. And occasionally, like a stray bolt will sort of glance the sunrise and rock the ship. There's TIE fighters sort of roaring into range first, coming in like a group of 12 of them, like flying in formation and then spreading apart, all Return of the Jedi style. And they scatter and start like shooting other ships in the fleet. So 2 of the TIE fighters are attached to one of your 2 HLAFs. Are both of the HLAFs out and flying, or just Zep? I sort of assume that NPC ships are going to be flying in the background.
Yeah, I would launch the second ship too.
So you got 2 TIE fighters that seem to be stuck on Zep's tail, or seem to be like targeting him explicitly. Maybe we see like cinematically the viewers watching this movie, we see like into the TIE fighter cockpit, and they do the thing where they sort of like adjust their little dials or something and look all menacing in their dumb helmets. All right, 3 players. I'd say for the TIE fighters, the range that the HLAF and the TIEs are in right now is probably short. The range between the Sunrise and the TIEs are probably also short. The range between the Sunrise and the Corvette, probably medium. And then the big ship is probably long. Who
It's up
goes
to you
first?
guys.
I guess Zepp will go first. So with his first maneuver, he's going to aim, and then he's going to take fire on the TIEs. 1 second. So same silhouette. It's 2 purple. I roll my force rating with that. Any upgrades or downgrades from the GM?
Yeah, I'm going to upgrade. And then also for people, since we haven't done space combat in a while, if you look in the pins in Discord, I forget exactly which one there is. There's 2 different Starship Combat action cheat sheets that Gunnis had linked. The one that I'm looking at is called Starship Player Action Sheet.
Yeah, and 1 boost. All right, so let's see how this goes. Okay, well, it's a good thing that I have this ability, because I can spend 2 light side or 2 force points to add a success or failure or advantage. So I'm going to change over 1, 2. Yep, I'm going to use all of the light side pips on that roll to give me 3 additional advantages. So that now makes it 2 net advantages. With 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 advantage.
You hear the voice of Obi-Wan.
It's Master Boo Dudo. So yeah, he's like, oh, foresee with your mind. I imagine he sounds like Bane because he's like one of those the guys with the face masks. Kill something or others.
Keldor.
Yeah.
Is he a boot enough dudo?
I mean, he has faith in me, so I'm going to assume he's not. So cool. My base damage is... Oh, wait a second. I have... Oh, wow, cool. I can use linked and do a critical. All right, so the damage on this is 5, 6, 7. Linked it, so 14 damage plus 1 crit.
All right, so you channel the force to make these blaster bolts hit. I would sort of interpret that cinematically as like the actual roll was a failure, so you like have been dogfighting with one of these guys, maybe going back and forth.
Ooh, and I turn off my targeting computer.
Yeah, you can't have that shit on.
Yeah, it's like it. I realize that my instincts are at this point better than the computer's.
Let go, Luke.
Somewhere, somebody else in the fleet brings you up on comms. Zep, you've turned off your targeting computer. What's wrong?
I got this. And then just light them up. However much, I mean, because I assume since they're minions, I smoke one of them with the crit, right?
Yes, you do. So 14 damage is enough to... Let me check real quick. I mean, yes, you do smoke one, and then the damage, kills the other one that's following you.
All right, so I send a couple blasts up one's exhaust ports, and then the other one, I just I light up like a life day tree, and that's my turn.
You say there's a couple others nearby the sunrise?
Yeah, there's 10 others now.
I guess I will also shoot one of them. They're silhouette 2, we're 5, right?
Correct.
Alright, I treat their silhouette as one larger,
nope, sorry,
which I think
they
makes
are
me hard.
silhouette. They're silhouette 3, actually.
Oh. So I treat them as 4. So it's only an average roll then, right?
So 1 difference, yeah.
Alright. So 2 purples. Was that boost Gunnis gave out just in general or for discipline again?
Discipline, I believe.
Just this one, yeah.
I'm going to upgrade to...
The gun had a mount thing. I don't remember what it did.
The mount is superior, and it adds an advantage, I believe, to the roll.
It is. Yep, it's superior. It's 1 higher damage and 1 advantage. So it's damage 7.
I could barely hear you over the music, so just 1 extra advantage was the net result there.
I'll turn it off. It's just one more advantage.
I'm listening to it on my headphones. It's actually really fitting.
Yeah, just wait until we get past the phase of testing out these mass combat rules and doing an actual, Endor-sized combat.
I mean, we're going on Endor?
Oh, yeah,
News to me.
spoilers, oops.
Gotta live to Endor first.
Not for a while yet, is it?
I guess I should take one of them.
What's
7
the
base
total?
damage.
I actually don't know what the gun damage is.
7 base damage.
So 10. I don't think 1 advantage gets me anything.
It's strained, though, right? Since it's ion.
Yes.
You take out one of them. So, one of these TIE fighters sort of, you slam into it with an ion bolt, and it does the thing where it just starts, tumbling over itself in space. Its engine, flames out. Anything on the advantage?
I think I'll just pass a boost forward.
Alright. Got another player?
I think that's me. All right, so targeting the closest big ship to us, the one that's flanking us.
That is the Corvette.
And I'm not sure if there is a range on the slice enemy systems action.
It has a specific difficulty in the text, at least in the cheat sheet, doesn't say it has any range on it. Either way, it's currently medium range, and I would say that's probably fine.
Yeah. Cool, so 3 purples, any upgrades?
I don't want to blow all of my destiny points right now. No upgrades. Whew.
That didn't work.
You didn't take your boost.
Oh yeah, that's right. Nope.
So 5 advantage. What are you doing with them?
I'll use them for the next character's action. Like, make the next character, whoever goes, they do something awesome. Computers checked to slice the enemy systems did not work. So it's like, wow, they got this firewall up and
Yeah,
they know what they're doing.
Corvette maybe has like a more modern computer system than a lot of like backwater Imperial ships have.
Captain sucks, but their IT department is amazing.
Yeah, pretty much. All right, so there are plenty of other TIE fighters out there. I'm going to take the 2 NPC slots, if that's cool, and put 2 more TIE fighters in there. If people don't have anything against that.
Sounds
There
good.
are waves and waves of them.
Oh yeah, I'm sure these things have like hundreds.
So 2 of the TIE fighters got blown up in amazing fashion by Zep flying that HLAF. And it's enough to attract the attention of some of the other TIE pilots who are harassing the other ships in your fleet. And they bear down on Zep.
Okie dokie.
Let me find my sheet thingy.
I've got a defensive 1.
Yeah, I'm just looking to see if they want to do any special thing. So both of them are going to do still 1 maneuver, 1 action on flying stuff, right?
Correct.
All right. I'll just do these 2 fighters. Yeah, 2 TIE fighters separately then, since it's 2 initiative slots. They are, or one of them is going to do an evasive maneuver, which is until the end of the round, upgrade the difficulty of all attacks against the ship vehicle once, plus up to 1 extra time per point of handling the vehicle has, which is a total of 4 upgrades for the TIE fighter. That's OP. And then they're going to fire, just plain old fire. So
I'm
we
going to
got
upgrade that difficulty with a Destiny point.
Okay. And it's 1 purple for the same silhouette size, right? Or is it 2? 1, I think.
It's 2. And then, give me just half a second to just make sure I don't have any specializations that allow me to block. Nope, not yet.
Actually, I changed my mind. I'm going to do these as minion groups. So the 2 of them are going to go together. You were upgrading?
Yeah,
And defense?
1.
Okie dokie. I'm going to upgrade back.
That's not as bad as it could have been.
Yep, so they have damage 6.
All right, I soak 2, so 7, so I take 5 damage.
Wait, you soak 2 on... Okay, yeah. Mhm.
Armor 2, yeah.
All right, so these 2 TIE fighters, they're the ones who come in when you attract their attention by blowing up their buddies, and they like do some really impressive dodging and weaving, flying on the way to you. Like they just don't come in a straight line. They're doing like cool corkscrew spins and everything. And both of the pilots fire at the same time, like they're doing like a coordinated corkscrew thing. They both fire at you at the same time and hit you in the rear of the starfighter, doing 5 damage.
Rude.
Totes rude. Okay, player up.
Someone else with the gun should go first.
Is there anyone else?
Yeah, I don't think there is anyone else, is there?
Yeah, there's me, but like I'm just doing the leadership thing, so I can take this initiative and just say that I'm doing leadership things.
I would be boosting the leadership thing for now, or I guess I'd be using warfare. That'd be what I'd be doing.
To do what?
Help the battle in some way.
He is a Clone Wars veteran.
Yeah, look for weaknesses in their like. Look around, try to find weaknesses in their formation.
So the second, I think it's just in the second cheat sheet. Hold on. Yeah, the combat cheat sheet has like a bunch of stuff that you can do if you're not like actually manning a gun too. If you want to take a look at that.
It doesn't. I look at that. Well, I only looked at the Starship one. Let me look at the other one. Yeah, I'll look at that when someone else does their thing. This one. Okay.
Yeah, then we should be at the top of the round, I guess.
Yep, and back up to 3 more players.
Is this where we now jump back to the overall roll?
Oh yeah, are we in like the second phase now?
It's not really defined when we do it. It's just sort of like narratively whenever it makes the most sense. I think in the interest of time, we can do it that way.
Whoa, I didn't get around.
Oh yeah, let Rack take his turn. He's the one who didn't get to go.
So we see like this engineer like flipping dials, he's like sweating profusely, like mopping his head with his rag, like power's down on the aft side, sir. Reroute, blah blah blah. And Rack's like sitting there like, no shit. And then I'm staring across the table with Boba Fett, and he says, your mother's a Griffin whore, and I said to him, and we cut back to the fight.
I like it.
Rack's the best assistant engineer.
It's morale officer.
God
Eating
help us.
Okay, so now we do. Now we're on the like phase 2 of the overall combat. So we jump back to the mass combat roll. Gunnis, that leadership role that you did at the start of the combat, going to be the same pool. Only now I'm going to be giving a boost die for the actions that you guys did. You culled the herd a little bit on the TIE fighters. However, I'm also going to tack on a black die for the Corvette successfully defending itself from electronic attack.
Okay.
So it's supposed to be like a push and pull in each one of these different phases.
All right. Are you upgrading again?
This time I'm not.
I will still upgrade. What? God damn it!
Oh, I like this.
This is good.
For the viewers at home.
Horseshit!
Okay, so there's an actual chart that I can refer to here.
Our very first despair of this session.
May there be many more.
It's always a Gunnis roll.
Alright, so
Bye.
let me snip out this chart and put it in the Discord.
It's not a Gunnis roll. You had a success.
Yeah, that's right. I'm sorry. It's a half Gunnis roll.
So just that you guys get an idea of where I'm coming from on this despair roll. There's a ton of stuff that I can do on despair. One of the PCs involved with the acting force, which is you guys, is grievously hurt in the fighting and suffers 1 crit. Communications are disrupted, orders are garbled, reinforcements arrive to support the enemies, which I'm going to do.
Nice.
So, okay, setting the scene of this battle a little bit more. The TIE fighters are thinning the herd. Maybe you guys are gaining the upper hand, especially given that roll. The Corvette's flanking maneuver seems like it's meeting heavy resistance from the Gazanti cruiser. The CR-90 and the Firestorm are continuing to just like pound away at each other from long range. I'm imagining like both sides lined up to give like broadside attacks on the other one.
Oh, God damn
Just turbo lasers flashing across
Hey, okay, a
space
second.
left and right. But it seems like you guys are getting the upper hand for now. When suddenly the sensors on the bridge of the Sunrise light up and like an alert siren goes off and like red lights start flashing. We'll make it one Lancer frigate comes in. This is like another pretty big ship compared to you guys anyway. It's also a match for the CR-90. These are more like light cruisers kind of a thing. This one's transponder identifies it as the Audacious. And, it comes out of hyperspace, sort of like above you guys, or like above the Corvette, and sort of like takes a long banking turn towards your fleet. And you guys get to spend those advantage though, and I'll snip out the chart that you guys can refer to on that.
The Audacious.
Yeah, you had like 5 from my roll.
I just put the advantage chart in Discord too.
Looking at this thing, I suppose I could do a discipline roll for our ship.
Did Darius roll all of his boosts from Alice's advantage?
Oh, did it?
I mean, how much was it?
It was 5 advantage.
Yeah, and Gunnis didn't put those boosts on there. One of the boosts was from you guys doing well in the battle, and the other boost was from like Gunnis's leadership, I think.
Oh, how many more boosts do I need to?
I mean, I was thinking of using some of that in the mass combat thing. Or, no, that wouldn't apply because you're doing the mass combat roll. Yeah, I had 5 advantages, so if you were the person that was going next, would that be 5 blue?
You could do that, or you could reduce the amount and give it to somebody else later. So he doesn't really need the boost die anymore. Just
Well,
means
more narrative stuff I can do in the mass combat role.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Go for it. Take them all.
Zep, I don't know exactly when you left, but Gunnis flopped on the fleet phase roll, and Imperial reinforcements just hyperspaced in.
Okay, good.
Everything's fine.
So, we have what? I had 4, now I have 6.
You can disable 2 major weapon systems.
Yeah, I'll say that we knock out 2 of the main weapon systems on the Vindicator.
It's like 2 of the turbo laser turrets.
Yeah, right. That would be perfect.
All right, so this thing has 5 on each side. So 5 port, 5 starboard, 5 on the top. You take out 2 of them. So maybe like the CR-90, like cinematically the CR-90, as soon as the Imperial reinforcements come in, it just lays down like a complete volley of fire from its turbo lasers. And they penetrate the shields on the Vindicator, and just you see 2 huge flashes of light as as two of these turret batteries on the Imperial heavy cruiser go up in flames. And in Star Wars fashion, there's still fire in space, so they're like burning and smoking.
Star Wars hates physics.
Yep.
All right.
Awesome. So yeah, back at the top. So you now have one more Imperial ship to deal with.
So are we doing another round of normal space combat, or are we just going to the next mass combat?
I think in the interest of time, this is probably taking a little while since it's the first one. We can doing mass combat.
Sounds good. So what do I change the difficulty to now?
So this one, let me check. So the enemy force gets to roll as if it's bigger, and it goes from being an imposing strength to being staggering strength. This is what it would be if you were facing an actual Star Destroyer. The base pool is 4 purple on it, with the 1 leadership of its captains, 1 red, 3 purples. And I'm going to upgrade. So 2 red, 2 purple.
Well, I'm going to upgrade too. I don't know how much it's going to help. Do I still have the black die, or is that gone now?
Yeah, the boost and the black go away. You keep the boost from your innate abilities. This is where action between the fleet rolls would make sense, because then I can determine if a boost or black comes into play. I'm going to say the Imperials would tend to have the upper hand here since they now have reinforcements, so they would have a black. Or you would have a black. All right. So, despite the reinforcements, and now with the 2 turbo laser turrets destroyed on the Vindicator, things are swinging back in your direction. You guys are a scrappy force, but you're also being led very well by somebody with good leadership skill, especially compared to this Imperial commander who's a nobody. I don't know. Does anybody want to narrate the battle of what this looks like for this specific phase? We're gonna have 2 more phases, and then we're done.
Yeah, I'll jump in.
All right, cool. So what's this look like?
Cool. So with the Vindicator now missing 2 turbo lasers on one side, and the Lancer class frigate coming in from a different vector, the Dawnstar is going to roll up to present its belly to the Vindicator and just screen the fighters from the Lancer class, because the Lancer class actually has almost no weapons that are effective on the capital scale. It's an anti-starfighter ship. So the captain of the Dawnstar is just going to run the Dawnstar right up into the face of the Lancer class and concentrate all its guns on it to get its attention, so that the starfighters can keep working on the Vindicator. So you just see the Dawnstar just running right into the teeth of the Lancer class, while the other ships are trading punches, and the Vindicator is still shooting at it, but a lot less effectively. So maybe the captain is now trying to desperately roll the Vindicator to bring its other full battery back online, so that it can punch through the shields on the CR-90 again, but not very effectively.
Can I make a computer's roll to do the slicing thing? That might help us in the mass combat.
Yeah, you can. We'll leave the initiative for now then. I'm not going to upgrade. Nice.
I think that works.
So what's the Triumph do?
So it's going to disable a weapon system for 1 round. The advantages are going to inflict 1 system strain, 2 advantage per 1 system strain. And I'm going to reduce the defense of 1 zone for, looks like 4 rounds. So the entire battle, basically.
Okay, so it's got 2 defense on on the front and both sides, and 1 defense in the back.
The side that's facing our guns.
Probably front.
All right. Well, now that commander's in panic because his shields are gone.
For the setback, we'll I'll use that to upgrade the next check that is made. That isn't the fleet check. So like the
Cool.
next actual skill. All right. Let's do another phase unless anybody has more skills they want to use, and we'll call this one the last battle phase.
All right, I'm ready.
Okay, I'm not upgrading this time. We'll say that you get a boost die additionally for the slicing job that was done by Alice. The Imperials this time don't have a black die at all. Yeah.
All right, I will upgrade. Woo! I would like to spend 2 destiny points, or 2 advantage to say that the PCs perform a particularly heroic act or do something with minor but lasting consequences for the cause of the Rebel Alliance. To perhaps acquire enemy materials, for example. Straight from the example.
It doesn't say what the enemy material is going to be.
There's a single disabled tie.
Okay.
Track that bitch in! We'll take anything we can get.
All right, so
You really want a single TIE fighter?
Hey man, we can sell that shit on the secondary market at least.
Or make ourselves an ugly.
oh, please make uglies, please. Uglies are awesome. Yeah, you can use the advantage to salvage one of the ties. We'll say that you can in general salvage the battlefield after things are over, and gain some cool stuff from that. And maybe you and I can talk about like what cool components you might be able to salvage or something like that afterwards.
Yeah, that's fine. We got 2 ships with hangar bays, and we got a capital ship. Like, they can work on that while we're down on the surface.
Yeah, I like the Genki example in Discord. You see like out the window is a perfect like turbo laser turret just floating around, and it's colored purple. It's a rare drop. All right, cool. So at this point, the battle is definitely going in your way. The Corvette has had its shields like peeled off and is having computer problems, or parts of its shields anyway. The Lancer frigate is just getting mauled by the CR-90. I think at this point, like its shields are almost down, and it's just like taking huge explosions all over its hull. Like a satellite dish gets blown off of it, or like one of the sensor things or something. And we see from these like the blisters that house the laser cannons, a couple of them has just exploded and are like venting into space. And at this point, the Imperial commander is going to tuck tail and run. So all 3 of the ships, at this point, the TIE fighters are sort of recalled back to the main ship. What few of them are left, and all 3 Imperial ships turn sort of away from you, like a 10 o'clock angle or something, and just all 1, 2, 3, right after the other, jump into hyperspace.
All right, I'm gonna run to the bathroom then. Let's see,
Me
take
too.
a break point for a second.
Come back at quarter till.
Cue the intermission music.
All right.
Let's all go to the lobby.
Is anyone still here that wants to answer a question about modifications?
Yeah.
So when doing mods, threats don't really matter, right? Just to spare.
Yeah, I think the threat makes it like more expensive, or it takes you longer to do.
Do you know where you're seeing that? Because in the Force and Destiny core book, it just has a rule for a despair. It doesn't have any rules for, like, say, triumphs, advantages, or threats. Because I've been rolling, and I'm just using my advantages to give me or boost dice on the next roll.
Yeah, for that, I usually default to the basic use of advantages and threats. I don't think there's any like modding specific rules, unless you're using like specialized crafting rules. Then those come into play. But for generic modification of attachments, not so much.
Okay, gotcha. Because I'm trying to decide if I want to take conflict on this. I've got a success and 3 threats, but I have 4 force pips that I can use, but 3 of those are dark side. So, I mean, I guess if it doesn't matter, I'll just take. No, I don't want to take the strain. I'll just take the conflict. I'll lose some morality this session for sure. It's bound to happen eventually.
The emotions.
I tapped into the dark side to build a better lightsaber.
So what I did when I was doing that, I played it up because I had a semi-corrupted crystal, for lack of a better word. So that's why it started going more and more red. Because I was doing the same thing. I was rolling force die with my upgrade pool, but everything was coming up dark side.
Man, it's almost like you can't. Well, I guess having a force rating of 4 really helps in this. So yeah, never mind. I would not be rolling nearly as well if it weren't for those.
You should use the stun blaster attachment. That way you can have a lightsaber that's also a gun, like in Rebels.
Oh yeah. Get a pistol grip.
Yeah, I think that's 2 hard points.
Hard points too. Yep. And 750 credits.
I think where I am now, it's a pretty serviceable lightsaber.
Okay, I'm back. I think we had Darius still out. I heard you guys talking. Gold, Justin, TVG still around?
Yep.
Okay, we'll give Darius and Gold just a few minutes.
Salted avocado.
This is why we can't buy houses in our generation.
That avocado's worth it, though, I tell you. The amazing thing is avocado isn't really that expensive compared to other produce.
I think I bought one yesterday for like 99 cents or something.
Yeah, they're a buck a avocado down at my local food co-op thing.
They make an awful lot of them in Mexico.
Oh yeah, that's going to change then.
The great avocado tariff of 2018.
Donald Trump's America. So, Drone, I'm gonna PM you the results. I've been rolling off Roll20, so I'm not cluttering the window up. But I'll send you what I rolled, and you can let me know if that's fine or not.
Okay. We can also use the time now to do your vision too. I completely forgot about that. Sorry.
Oh yeah, sure. I was just gonna say, did you want to like send that to me like in PM or tell me now? Either one is fine. Whichever you think is more appropriate.
Let's just go for it now. So the strength of it was within the next 72 hours, right? Because you had used all those dark side points.
Yep.
And put them on your conflict.
Done.
All right. So particularly tapping into the dark side here is interesting. Because, okay, first off, just in general, rules about Korriban when it comes to the Force. Whenever the two of you Force-sensitive characters roll Force die when we're on the planet, you add an automatic 1 dark side pip to the roll to represent the ever-present temptation of the dark side on this planet. Likewise, when you use dark side pips on this planet, due to the dark vergence that is this planet, I can add narrative flair to the checks, playing up how they draw power from the twisted nature of this place. So really just making the place extra creepy. In general, the planet itself, it's harder to use light side stuff successfully on the planet and easier to use dark side. So the vision. You see... it comes in like a wave of images. You see like the surface of this planet. You see like crumbling tombs and these massive statues of robed figures sort of towering over you and like crumbling sort of onto you almost. You see a starfighter that's sort of half submerged in sand. And you can make out the shape of it is a wedge, and it's red and white colored. It's a familiar shape to you. It's one of the Ether Sprite class Jedi starfighters. You see... let's see, what else do you see? You see a large temple sort of in the middle of a desert. Not like carved out of mountains like a lot of them are. Like this is just like a big stone structure. It's like the size of a mansion. And it's towering in front of you, and the doors have like this creepy Sith writing on them from ancient times, and the doors are opening to beckon you in. And the last thing you see, I'm gonna say, is you see a little. So you remember like Yoda's hut that he lives in on Dagobah? You see like a little living area like that, carved into what looks like sandstone, and like you see I don't know, like a little cot for sleeping in. It looks very, very old and worn. You see a bunch of like worn, threadbare clothes lying around it. There's like a little cooking area with smoke rising from it, as if it was used recently, and like perched up against one of the walls, you see like a very gnarled-looking walking stick. Nobody's in the room; it's empty, but it's clearly been inhabited recently.
All right. So I want to use one of those pips to determine one additional piece of information. Is there a fireplace or something like that?
In the living space?
Yes.
Yes, there's a fireplace.
Is it still warm?
Yes.
All right, noted. Thank you.
All right, so we can continue. I think I want to think about how well the mass combat thing works and what we can do for the future on it. I think something like that, just tendentially, I would say maybe save it for like huge climactic ones, like your guys' version of Hoth or Endor or something, and make it like an actual session rather than like a part of a session. But we can think about how we want to tighten those things up in the future. But I think
it seemed like it took a little while, yeah.
It's a decent start, though, I think. So. Alrighty. Yeah, you guys are, you now have the planet basically to yourselves. As you approach, the Empire have already left. presumably they're going to go tattle on you to somebody, but there's no real indication of that either way. Yep, and the planet is now yours, and you are the only living people on it as far as you know.
I will raise the Dawn Star, and I will tell Chief Engineer Bilby that he is in charge of doing a survey of what's left to salvage in orbit, and preparing a force readiness report, and overseeing repairs that are necessary to any other ships while we're gone.
Okay, Bilby responds in the affirmative, and he sounds almost like he's happy to be sort of repairing battle damage again after all these years. Back in his element.
All right, I'll turn to everybody else and say, all right, let's get down to the surface. This is a little bit out of my realm of experience, Zep, so where should we land?
All right, so Zep's going to turn to Alice and say, Alice, I think you're a lot better at this sort of sensory thing than I am. What do your senses tell you?
Let me think. Sounds like this could be a combination of roles. So we're not on the planet yet. So do I get that dark side pip?
I think you tell me. You guys haven't landed yet, but are you guys like descending through the atmosphere as you're doing this, or are you still up in space?
I think we're still up in space, assessing the damage from the last battle.
Okay.
Maybe how this could work is I'll do a 4C roll, and then based on what I see, I can then use a seek roll.
Okay. I think also since you're in orbit, the actual 4C is going to be less specific than it might otherwise have been, since you're not actually on the planet. It's sort of the trade-off for not having the black pip automatically generated that comes with being on Korriban.
Yeah, actually, that brings up a good point too, because if I use my seek roll up here in orbit, my general sense of direction will be like, yeah, it's on that planet somewhere.
It can maybe point you to a continent, although the entire planet is land, so or like some kind of a geographical feature.
Somewhere on this hemisphere. So yeah, maybe I can do that once we break atmosphere in very cinematic, full-blown CGI fashion.
Yep. I have to read this once you break atmosphere. As you descend through Korriban's atmosphere, the world's distance from its star seems to grow, its already dim light fading into a perpetual night. Below you, a barren and bleak landscape of crags, canyons, and desert sands stretches out in all directions, broken by massive listing statues and crumbling ruins. A red pall lies all over the entire landscape, a heavy crimson hue that ominously resembles pooling blood. Okay, so now we can do the roll.
We've done it, boys. We've reached the blood planet.
No, this isn't Blood Planet. This is not the Middle East planet.
All right, so that's good. Good, bad. It's interesting. Dark side pips for both. Let me process the 4C roll first. So I'm going to... So up to a day in my future, that's as much as I got. I'm going to have to use the dark side pip to pick out one specific detail.
Okay. That also means, since you're using a dark side pip, that I can exaggerate things darkly. I'm encouraged to. All right, so just 1 day generalities, basically, and then you can probe for detail?
Yep.
All right. I'll give you again sort of like a couple flashes, and then you can tell me which flash interests you the most, I guess. So you see, think about this here. You find yourself in sort of like a cavernous area. You can't tell if you're underground or if you're inside of a structure of some type. It's just very dark. The walls are made of stone either way, sort of like carved with these creepy Sith glyphs that I mentioned in Zep's vision. There's a sole source of light from above you, and it's just pulling in this this very creepy red, like dark, dim, barely enough to see anything amount of light in this room. And you see before you, you're all alone. You see before you there are 3 apparitions floating sort of in the middle of the room. And they are pointing towards you, and you can't really see their face unless you ask me for more detail, but they're gesturing towards you in some way. And then we'll do another flash. This one is of it's the outside of a tomb. So picture like a cave that maybe had a boulder in front of it, sealing it shut at one point. And you see the boulder has been cracked straight down the middle, and there are like scorch marks all around it. And it's been cracked just wide enough that somebody could pass through into the tomb or pass out of the tomb.
Scorch marks. I'm gonna examine that detail. These aren't just blaster scorch marks, right? Or were they made pretty recently?
They were made recently. They don't look like a blaster scorch mark. They don't look like an explosion of any type. Up until now, you haven't seen a force that could do this.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, they were recent, and we'll say maybe as part of the detail too, you see if you look down from this cracked open door with these scorch marks, you'll see there are actually footprints in the sand going in and coming out of this tomb.
Oh, footprints. All right, that's my seek target.
You see 2 sets of footprints, different sizes.
All right, so there might be more than one person. Cool. So the seek power, I'm gonna have to use both dark side pips. So 2 conflict. So 3 total conflict, 3 total strain, 2 destiny points, light to dark, and this is gonna be super creepy.
All right,
it's double the dark side.
So the seek like magnification that you have, what is it right now? Like, what's your current status with it?
Let me check. All right, so 2 pips to gain insight into the general location or direction of a person or object that I know about, regardless of current distance. So it's going to be that rock split in half temple that I saw in my vision.
Okay. So the way I imagine this playing out with Seek is you sort of like have like a secondary vision that's leading you to this place, or like a feeling that is compelling you to go towards this, so much so that you can identify where it is roughly. You see yourself walking along this path going to this place, and the already sort of dark twilight that surrounds you gets even darker. You feel a huge gust of wind on you, and as you look up, the cloudy atmosphere sort of parts, and you see the glittering dots in the sky that are the stars. And looming directly over you is a gigantic moon-shaped object with a big laser dish stuck on the side of it. And you see the super laser of this Death Star hanging above you, activating and being fired on the planet, sort of somewhere off in the distance. and you feel like the rumbling of heat and wind on you as this like nuclear blast goes off. And now, instead of being on Korriban, you find yourself suddenly, like as soon as this wind gust picks up, you find yourself back on Alderaan. You're still like walking along towards this destination, but you're walking through Alderaan now, and you're following these footprints. And instead of being in the sand like they were a minute ago, they're like in the grassy mud that is, I guess, common on Alderaan. Sort of like a nice temperate area. And there are people all around you running and screaming. Like you see mothers holding their children and stuff like that. As you suddenly find yourself back on your home planet as it's being destroyed. But somehow this force is compelling you forward. And eventually you do find the place that you're looking for. You come up to this temple, or this building, tomb, I guess, with the cracked open door. And inscribed on the door, you see like the name inscription on the tomb. It's not a person. It reads, "To the peaceful people of Alderaan." Trying to play up into your anger motivation.
What would Alice do here? So she's going. So Zep was like, this is your realm of expertise. What do you see, Alice? I imagine Alice kind of like closing her eyes, going to this forced meditative trance. And she's there for a while. Other characters might notice her like balling her fists. And then her eyes just open. She's not wearing a helmet for this. They just open. And she says this in like... It's like when you are saying something and are trying to choke back the anger, it comes out kind of... your voice. There's something that happens with your voice inflection. And that's what's happening here. You hear her voice like tighten, and she's like, "I know where it is."
Okay, let's take a discipline roll.
Difficulty?
There is a specific one. Hold on a second.
Here's a question, Alice. What's your discipline?
3.
Oh, okay. I actually can't help you there.
Who's die? From me.
So the set difficulty on it is 1 red, 1 purple. I'm going to upgrade. So 2 reds. Nice.
Serenity now.
So you resist an effect of the dark side here. There's a specific use for the triumph, and you let's see. You upgrade the ability on your next fear check or a check to resist a dark side illusion.
Oh, nice. So it's like something out there in the periphery of my mind is trying to sneak its way in, but through my own resolution, it goes away.
And so, Zep, on your discipline check from your 4C thing, you can do...
That was actually just to recover strain.
Oh, okay, got it. Never mind. All right, cool. All right. So, you know where to find this temple. So you can lead the group roughly to wherever it is at your leisure.
Yep. So I'll be like the force dowsing rod. We can... It's like, yep, we're getting warmer. We're getting warmer. And sooner or later, depending on visibility, but we have scanners for this too, we will arrive at these temples are typically pretty big, so it's not like we're needle in a haystack in canyons. Eventually we might come across an edifice like the one we have in Roll20 here.
Yeah, like the things that we have here in Roll20 are littered all over this planet. It's like it's basically a tomb world. Like it's literally just all Sith tombs. For like a landing site for the Sunrise, I think you would be like a decent distance from where you're trying to get. Like the tomb that you're trying to get to is maybe in like a canyon or something. That is difficult to get a landing spot for something as big as the Sunrise down in there. You can find an area sort of in the general vicinity, maybe like 10 kilometers away or something.
Well, I guess it's time for the truck.
Bring out the band van.
Pretty metal to play a gig on a tomb world.
See, that's what we should do. We should just claim the planet, start using it for intergalactic tourism, the most metal planet in the galaxy.
Yeah, the stage could go right there, and we could set up some big-ass speakers over there.
Pyrotechnics. No risk of setting anything on fire.
No cops around.
Persistent.
Temporarily.
Dread.
Yeah, no need for drugs because you're hallucinating all the time anyway, thanks to the Force. It's a bad trip, though.
The planet's atmosphere is the brown acid.
All right.
So, Sunrise is set down.
What was that?
I said once the Sunrise is set down, I will tell the people on the ship, including the lieutenant of our squad of troopers, to secure the ship and wait for our return. And then I'll tell everyone else, make sure you're loaded for bear. We have no idea what we're going to find here.
Alright, so Zep gathers just his blasters and his lightsaber and is ready to go.
Yeah, Alice is all fully kitted out.
All right, my stuff. My fists on.
Oh, yeah, I don't know if Alice knows that visions are an issue per se. Like, for all she knows, she's just on some really creepy planet. And, like, I don't know if she would understand the implications on non-Force sensitives, or if she's even, like, aware that's an issue.
Which, by the way, Meta-wise, everybody's going to be hallucinating while we're on this planet.
Yeah,
Oh, everyone is not just Force sensitives.
Yep.
let's do it.
Force sensitives are more able to resist them. Not, like, substantially so. But, yeah.
We're all high on this planet.
Well, we're all stars now in the Korriban show, I guess.
Is the atmosphere breathable? Do we know that?
It's, like, barely breathable. It's, I think it's sort of like, it takes a little bit of an effort to breathe, almost like if you were, like, on top of a mountain.
I got my helmet on, but no, like, breathing apparatus.
The entire world is very dusty, though, so maybe be smart to like keep some cloth over your mouth or something. But
I use a destiny point and say we all brought some rebreather masks.
Don't need Destiny, I did. I'll put on that and my field goggles.
okay, I didn't take the Destiny if Gank had them.
He had enough to share?
Like I said, I just had one.
Yeah, so let's use the destiny point, and I got a box of them. Like a 6-pack.
Acme brand rebreathers.
Yeah, so they're pretty much good for this this planet. They're not going to be carry overable.
Okay.
So I'll say, everybody stay close. Nobody wander off.
Yep, let's tie a string to each other.
If nothing else, use the buddy system.
Everybody get an accountability buddy.
If you walk alone, you walk with Bin Laden.
Damn.
So we I guess start heading in the direction that Alice indicates.
Okay. What vehicle are you guys taking? You got two. Band van or ancient car?
I vote for Van.
We're moving on, right? So van.
Yeah, we can say we brought the van and take that. We didn't put anything extra in the cargo or in the hangar bay anyway, so.
The band van fits right the fuck in on this planet with that sick airbrush on the side. Like the space wizard with the ball of lightning in his hand is just like looking up ominously at these dark clouds.
So we've just undercut entirely the atmosphere on this planet.
Yeah, it was supposed to be like all grim and dark and shit, and then suddenly it just became the good kind of grim and dark.
Hey, space wizards belong with space wizards. What do you want?
Okay, so who's driving the band van?
I say Hrak, go for like a BA Brachus kind of thing.
Can't drive for crap. But yeah, sure, why not?
Just
Yeah,
gotta
don't
go
worry
in a
about-
straight line.
I could
I'm
go
not
full
gonna-
reflexes on it.
I'm not going to make you do like an actual roll for piloting this thing or anything.
Oh, in that case, I could do it too.
Okay, so you guys drive along for a while in the band van. Maybe the band van itself is keeping you in some high spirits because it's so out of place on this otherwise like very dark planet. And as you're driving along, Hrak, you specifically, you're let's see, you're trying to like focus on the road in front of you. It's not really a road; it's like this dirt ground, and you see, sort of like in your peripheral vision, every so often you'll see like a little flash of movement between some of these rocks, like there's some kind of a creature out there or something like that. Eventually, you get sight of it as it like tries to like run directly in front of the van, and you see it's like a little child Trandoshan.
I swerve and hit it. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, Gravel is like slam on the brakes, like.
And we're all like, whoa!
You whoa, and Rack will get out and he'll like start looking around. He'll like start doing that like echoey, shouty thing that Trandoshans do.
So you get out of the van, you look around, and like peeking out from around the side of the van, you see this Trandoshan kid coming, he like peeks out from around the corner first to look at you, and then he's got this look of recognition on his face, and he suddenly looks very happy, and he jumps out in front of you, and he's got like a little cardboard bounty hunter armor suit on that he's wearing, and got like a little toy gun in his hand, like a little toy blaster carbine or something. And he levels it at you, and he goes, "Pew pew pew! Haha! You're dead, Hrak!" And it's your little brother. I don't know if we gave him a name in the other session. Let's call him Brak. But this is not as you remember him.
Right.
He's an adult now, in real life, a dead adult. But you don't know that. Let's. Before you sort of reply to this thing that you're seeing, do a hard discipline check.
Okay, that's 2 reds.
It's 3 purple, and I'm gonna say, because of the very personal nature of what you're seeing, add a black die to it.
But we have the wizard van.
You had a
Ground in reality.
you had a boost ITBG from my speech, even if you didn't pay attention to it.
Also, real quick, wait. Oh, it's you have 3 discipline. Okay, never mind. Again, I can't help you.
That's quite a roll.
Did not fail.
Didn't succeed either.
Okay, so the rules on this section say that a character who fails this kind of check must respond to the illusion as if it were real, providing a great role-playing opportunity, and you gain 3 strain. If you were a force user, you would also gain 1 conflict.
Roleplay.
I hate role playing. God damn. Harak, he's like confused, right? He gets down on one knee. He's like, Pratt, come here, come on. Like, what? This doesn't make any sense. Come on. And then like tries to like bring him in for grab him like a big brother would grab a little brother.
Yeah, he doesn't drop his gun, but he like puts it off to his side, and he sort of like trundles over to you and gives you a big old hug, big old Trandoshan hug.
Yeah, all right. Let's get back to the van and get you out of here. And Pratt like wanders back to the van. He's like, hey, here. Kind of think like who would be the best with kids? Arjun, here.
I assume I don't see a kid, right?
You don't see a kid, no.
I'm just very confused.
The kid doesn't, like, the closer you get to the van, or to going into the van, the kid sort of, like, starts to walk away, or, like, back away, so he doesn't want to go in the van. He says, no, it's not safe in there. You know, Harak, Mama told us not to get into vans with strange people.
It's okay, they're kind of pricks, but they got my back. We'll be all right. And he's, like, dragging him or pulling him.
Yeah, as you drag him along, like his feet start leaving huge like gashes in the sand as he digs in. He does not want to go back in the van with you. And he starts. I assume Trandoshans don't cry, but he starts doing so in a very disturbing way.
Right.
And maybe instead of like crying tears, he's crying like I don't know what color Trandoshan blood is, like dark blue or something.
What the? Pratt, Arjun, I need your help out here.
So I guess do I hear him?
Yeah, you can hear Harak calling for you.
Alright, so I go out there, try to see what the heck's up.
The van lurches back into balance as the hut gets out of it.
It raises like 4 inches, hovering height.
I see Harak out there kind of by himself, right?
Yeah, you see him, like, from your perspective, he's got his arm sort of outreached, and he's holding onto something invisible, as far as you can tell. But you don't see any person. You don't see these like marks that the kid is leaving in the ground.
I don't know Arjun really know the fact that this is like a illusion planet, really. So I'd just be super confused. There's no one there, Harak. What are you doing?
Chop, stop being a criffin prickle. Look at my brother here. He's bleeding from his eyes. I need a medic.
Bleeding from his eyes. I don't want to. Yeah, can I try to like maybe coerce Harak that his brother isn't there? Maybe would that make sense?
It'd probably be a negotiation.
Shoot.
Coercion is like forcing someone to do something under threat of force.
Yeah.
Like if you don't believe your brother's not there, I'm gonna punch you.
I was about to suggest you could always use that magical antidote to illusions, which is the backhand slap.
I don't think I want to punch him. Oh wait, maybe I look to see if there's anything medically wrong with him. That would make sense. Like, see if there's like something wrong with him, maybe.
Well, you are a punch doctor, so
You cast fist.
I analyze Harak and see if I can tell if there's anything that I need to cure, I guess. I don't know if there's a difficulty on that, or if I'm just looking at the wrong thing or what for that one.
I'll just do it as like an average medical check, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, your doctor experience could tell you like if someone's under delusions.
Yeah, so we'll...
You probably had to deal with similar things.
Add the purples to that. What's the purples add? So it's 5 successes, 1 triumph, 1 advantage.
Yeah, he's exhibiting all the signs of somebody who's hallucinating, and it's as far as you can tell medically, there's no external cause for it. Like normally when somebody hallucinates, it's because they've ingested something, which doesn't seem to be the case.
It says here your blood is 15% LSD.
Alright, you're hallucinating, but I'm not sure what the cause is. Just try to hold on.
Okay. Maybe another discipline check here to bust out.
Yeah, I think we can narratively bust out if it makes sense now, especially with that triumph. Maybe Argon can talk you back to reality.
Suppose I use my apparently I learned psychotherapy at some point in the army.
You did have
Flash
to deal with a lot of clones with PTSD, maybe. I mean, that's what you did in the Bird Planet, too.
Yeah, that's true, yeah.
Flashes a Rorschach and Hack turns around and the kid's gone.
Yep.
What?
And like you see the little marks that are left in the sand, and they just sort of like fade away as this hallucination sort of fades off. And you hear, as it fades away, you hear sort of dancing on the wind the sound of your brother's voice, and it says, "Bye, Harak."
I think I'm good. Thanks, guy. He like shakily gets back in the driver's seat.
What's up with this planet? This is so weird. Like, I suppose, does it look like Alice or Zep know what's going on, or not really?
I think maybe my character will just feel the coldness of the dark side. It's like this planet is extremely unnerving.
Because after that, I'm pretty like creeped up by this place too. Causing hallucinations, man.
I think Zep's first reaction would have been to kind of sense Harak's thoughts and find out exactly what was going on. But it seemed like Argon handled it pretty well, so he didn't really have to do anything. But Zep is a lot more vigilant now, trying to keep his force senses open to try and spot anything.
Weird stuff on this planet. We need to be careful when searching for this thing.
Yeah, I guess when you guys get back in the van, Alice is like, "What took you guys so long out there?"
Something here is causing hallucinations. I'm not sure what. Maybe it's in the air?
Toxins, maybe?
Nah, it's the planet itself. Or the ghosts.
Oh, space ghosts. Great.
Just out there coast to coast.
Ghosts.
Gunnis will sort of run his hand through his hair and consider for a second, and then he'll say, from now on, if you see something at all unusual or unexpected, confirm it with other people before you take any action.
See something, say something.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's reasonable.
Are the hallucinations only auditory? Or wait, visual. That's what I want for. They could be auditory as well, though.
You'll find out soon enough.
Oh yes. All right. So we got past that little bit. Maybe Harak, do you like get back behind the wheel now, or are you a little shook?
Harak's definitely not getting behind the wheel. Yeah, he like sits in the back and he's like pulls out the little picture of his like Harak's family with Mama Harak and all the boys. It's like staring at it.
Gunnis will climb behind the wheel and start driving again.
Okay. So as you drive along, the weather on this planet seems to be getting more extreme. Before it was just sort of like a very calm, very mild wind. You sort of heard it like howling through the canyons and like through these empty monuments and whatnot. But now like it's gusting really hard. You can actually feel it as you're driving the van along. As you're hovering along, the wind is actually throwing you off course. And it's you're having to fight it a little bit to keep it going straight. It's also getting darker too. It's getting to be nighttime here on the planet.
Yep, gotta turn on the headlights.
and see the chupacabra.
Yeah, Gunnis will adjust everything and try to get the maximum output he can of the exterior LEDs.
Switch on the high beams.
Okay.
Oh,
You guys,
we got more than that. I'll turn on the scrolling marquee that goes around the top of the van. Set it to strobe mode.
Does it say anything, or does it still say like the last gig that the former
Yeah.
owners were doing?
Exactly, the last gig, and it's just like flashing like lights that like are mimicking like thunder and like lightning strikes and shit.
Sunday, Sunday, Sunday.
All right. So I'm gonna flip a destiny point. And you drive along for a little bit. It's not very long, not more than a few minutes after this sort of like windstorm starts. And you're still fighting for control of the van the entire time. You've got the lights are all on, the high beams are on. You got this marquee scrolling around. I like to imagine you guys have the radio turned up real high. When suddenly you hear like a weird sputtering sound coming from the engine of the van. Almost like a wheezing sound, as if it's trying to breathe in this noxious. Oh, it's not noxious, but like this dark side air on this planet, and like the engine is overheating or something like that. And you feel the repulsor lift field under the van start to weaken, and the van sort of like starts to sag down into the ground and starts to like drag a little bit into the sand before the van finally sets down and rests, and all the power dies.
Oh no!
It's not permanent, don't worry.
Yeah, got out of the van and sort of pop the hood and root around in it for a few minutes before looking up and saying, "It's dead. I don't know what's going on."
The
Not
planet
built for
caused
it,
it to
though.
hallucinate itself to death.
Cause I heard, yeah, car hallucinate.
The van turns into a Who Framed Roger Rabbit car.
Oh yeah, give it a Brooklyn accent and everything.
No.
I'll look up at Alice and say, "How much further is it?"
I don't know. How much further is it? I only know direction. I probably don't know distance.
You've been getting warmer and warmer as you get close. You're not quite there yet. Maybe your gut feeling would tell you it's walking distance from here, but it's in the middle of this like windstorm, and the planet just got creepier. So
Yeah, Alice will be like, I really don't know. But I do know that we're heading in the right direction, and the faster we do this, the faster we can get off this rock.
Gunnis will sort of turn around and fiddle with something, and I would like to create like a locator beacon or something like that for the van so we can get back to it.
do you have like bits and bobs to make it out of? Or are you just gonna like salvage something?
I've got my full toolkit and everything, so I can maybe a combination of both.
Cool. You can like repurpose the radio or something.
Oh yeah.
All right.
Cool. He'll just turn after he's done and say, "I put a locator in there. Hopefully it'll last long enough for us to be able to find it on the way back." Go ahead and lead the way, Alice.
All right. So this is where we do the Spaceballs thing. We walk in single file on some sand dunes.
Oh boy.
Everybody hold hands.
Just
That's
tie-
what I'll do.
Just tie each other together with like rope or okay. Then of course if you do that, then the rope will just break because that's what happens when you do that.
So I do have my helmet with scanners, so I could probably see through the dust and all this. At least up to medium range, I think.
Okay. So Alice, since you're taking point, could you do a perception check? It is going to be an opposed check, and the difficulty is 2 red, 1 purple, with 3 setback dice. But I will give you 1 boost die for your helmet.
2 red, 1 purple.
Yep.
Yeah,
Okay.
I don't see shit. But maybe
Then-
the next person does.
Yeah, I can roll.
Okay. Yeah, same difficulty. 2 red, 1 purple, and 3 black. Also, yeah, Alice forgot the blacks.
Oh, okay. I see even less shit than no shit. I get 4 advantage total.
Okay, so is the setbacks purely from darkness or from dust and stuff?
2 of the setbacks are from secrets, and 1 is from darkness.
Okay, and the see in the dark goggles don't help.
They would help with the darkness one. They
Okay.
wouldn't get rid of the 2 secret setback, though.
Yeah, the scanners will remove a setback die imposed by darkness or environmental conditions.
Yeah, I also have the remove black from environmental conditions from outdoorsmen, so I was asking with the dust or whatever, but they're
Yeah, so
secret.
technically, you can take away one of my black die results.
Not that it really matters.
Nah.
All right. Purple, 2 red, 2 black.
Yep.
And boosts from Alice, I guess.
Yeah, it'll be 4 advantage total.
Boosts, you mean?
Is it a 1-to-1 conversion?
If it's the next person, it is.
Yep, go for it.
All right. So perception. It's here somewhere. Yep, that's about par for the course.
I like it, though.
We're about to get so lost.
Oh boy.
I'll let one more person take a shot at it.
Not
Oh
me.
god. What's perception based on?
Cunning.
It's just your
Oh,
cunning.
I have just 2 cunning and no perception.
That's
so.
the same as me.
Oh wait, no, I have 1 perception. I have 1 yellow.
Can I make a sense check to see if I detect any life forms? To see if we really even need to worry about everyone looking out for it?
I would say you could do a sense check that would add boost to a perception roll. Like 1 boost per force pip that you spend.
Yeah, cool. So 2 boosts. Do I detect that something is out there?
Yes.
All right, so yeah, Zep's gonna pull out his lightsaber, not ignite it, but says, "Yeah, we're definitely not alone, guys."
Except my fists on.
I will try my best on this roll. I have goggles to overcome the darkness. That's it though. Take those boost die. And is it still 2 red, 1 purple?
Still 2 red, 1 purple, and 2 black that you can't get rid of. One of the blacks you already got rid of, though.
I will upgrade then, I guess. The Gunnish rolls! Yeah, okay. Sorry, guys. I tried.
On the plus side, whatever's out there will eventually find us.
Yep, and it now has. So the result of all these perception rolls was to determine what range this enemy starts at.
Called
it.
So now finally you all see what is coming into view. I'm going to read the text box. Slinking into view, a beast shrouded in darkness approaches you. It has the rough appearance and movement of a canine predator, but it is swathed in inky blackness, concealed amid tangible shadows, save for its gleaming teeth and shining red eyes. Bone-chilling howls erupt all around you, and you realize you are surrounded by these creatures of evil. You're being set upon by a pack of Kujos.
Creatures of evil. Can I also have my lightsabers out?
If you think you would have done that, yeah.
Yeah. If once Zep says we're not alone here.
So they, since you all see them now, and since you failed the perception checks to see them before, they all start at short range from you. So there are a total of 12 of these things.
Are these Cujos? I don't think I know what that is.
That was a joke.
We don't know what
It
they
either
are.
means they're evil dogs.
It's a Stephen King thing.
I wouldn't
Yeah.
put it past Lucas to like call them like C apostrophe UUJOs.
You're like Ujkos.
It's just evil dog spelled backwards. God, live.
Yeah, guys. Sounds like a band name. That's our band name, or it could be.
All right, so everybody do
Vigilance.
vigilance, and I get to roll 12 fucking times for these dogs. I'll wait till you guys get yours done though.
Oh, there are 12 not names? Jesus.
Yeah, they're all rivals.
No. Can't you kill rivals anyway? Don't you have a thing?
Oh yeah, I can kill rivals.
Oh yeah. I was gonna say.
What's your actual vigilance roll then, Zep, with all those force die?
Yeah, 7 success, 2 advantage.
Okay, nice.
Zep uses Ward's foresight and sees these things attacking us. That wasn't very helpful.
Oh, I forgot that. Yes. So add 4 dark side pips. I'll take 4 strain, add 4 successes to my initiative roll, and 1 light side point to dark.
Soak up all that conflict. Alright, now I get to roll this 12 fucking times. Ba-ba-da-ba-dum. Trying to go fast, sorry guys.
No problemo.
All right, that should be it. So we got 3 players at the beginning. I'm going to clear the roll log too, just to clean things up a little bit.
Anyone want to go first? I just hope I can go first before they attack so I can get my sense defenses up.
I'll take a swing.
All right, these things have no defense or anything. They're short range to you right now. They do have an ability. It's called Living Shadow. This is the one that gave them 2 black die to your perception check earlier. It says add 2 black die to all combat checks and perception checks against these things. They're called phantasmal beasts.
Oh, we found them.
Yeah, they're right there. I perceive them. All right, so it's going to be difficulty. Any ranks of adversary?
Nope, no adversary, no defense, just those 2 setback die in every combat attack on them.
All right, taking a swing.
And they're
So-
rivals, not minions, so...
Yep, so maneuver to get into engaged. Let's see. Do you think we can concuss these? If not, I'm going to use the red one.
You asking me or other people?
The other people. What the? Crowdsource the answer.
Probably not,
Just-
but
Just kill them.
Just kill him. All right. So Alice she's running out of patience with this planet. It's creepy. It's dusty. It's noisy. It's haunted. Whatever is here is also amplifying those negative emotions. She's just gonna go for the closest one and take a swing with the red.
All right, go for it.
All right, so I hit. Those dark side pips do nothing for me, so I won't use them. So it's gonna be 10 damage.
And your lightsaber has breach.
Yes.
Okay.
It also something else. Let's see.
It's dead, so I don't know if you want to narrate what this looks like.
Well, I also get it's engaged with a single opponent, so I get an automatic advantage, which I will use to get some strain back. So what she does is runs to it, lightsaber's igniting, and she puts one right through its neck.
As the lightsaber swishes right through this thing's neck, it's almost like you don't even really feel the contact, and like it passes straight through, and the creature sort of disappears in a puff of smoke.
Great. These things are made out of smoke. Made out of vape.
Vapetasmal beasts. And where to find them. Okay, 2 more.
I wouldn't mind going real quick, unless someone else really wants to.
No, go ahead.
All right, so maneuver to activate the lightsaber. It ignites, and then I guess to be really exciting about it, rather than activating my sense, I'm just going to try and chuck a large piece of debris at one of these guys with force move.
Okay.
All right, so I'm going to use a silhouette. Use a silhouette 2, which is a difficulty of 2, so that ain't bad.
Okay. I would define this also as a combat check, which still has the 2 black setback die.
Absolutely. And that was BLK for setback?
Yep.
That always catches me off guard. That's BLK because BL is the boost die.
Well, that didn't work. There we go. Okay, so Silhouette 2 is, I believe, base 20 damage.
Yep.
So 21 damage, and I'm going to give a boost to the other guys, or whoever's next, and basically narratively say that me using the Force to that extent might have drawn their attention to me enough so that the next person to attack them has an advantage.
Okay. All right, yeah, that one's dead. So the boulder sort of sails straight through this thing's body as well, and it also disappears in a puff of smoke.
All I'm going to do is shoot one of them if one of the melee guys has something better to do.
Well, auto fire could take down probably a couple of them.
They're not minions. I don't think I can target more than one, can I?
With auto fire, you can always target multiple targets, regardless of what they are.
All right, then. Do that. I did not know. So they're short range, which is 1. Auto fire makes it 2. 2 setbacks, you said, for the combat thing?
Yep.
I will aim and shoot, I guess.
Don't forget, you also get a boost from my action.
Two boosts. All right.
Yeah.
I will auto fire over 3 of them, I guess. I guess 4, technically, since that's 3 extras.
Does that split the damage, or is that the same damage multiplied?
I'm pretty sure it's just the 14 to 4 different targets.
Correct.
Jeez.
Auto fire rocks.
Unleashing hell on these hellhounds.
All right. So the blaster bolts that are unleashed by Gank's carbine, illuminating the darkness on this creepy planet, piercing through these mists. Also, likewise, pierce through these dogs, and they also similarly disappear in a puff of smoke.
I killed 4 of them? Jeez.
They're down. Killed 6 of them so far, so half of them. And now one of them finally gets to go. So since Zep said that he was hoping that his use of the Force would drag them or attract them towards him, he's gonna be the one to take the first attack on one of these guys, or from one of these guys.
All right, I've got a melee defense of 2.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, just 2.
I'm gonna upgrade this.
I will also upgrade.
Okay. All right. He has a special talent that he's going to be using. He's going to voluntarily increase the difficulty, not upgrade it, by 1. And if it deals damage, then you will suffer 1 strain whenever you move for the rest of the encounter.
Fair enough.
Which happens. Oh wait, you were upgrading. Okay.
So that blank becomes a blank. Good to know. All right, so how much damage does it do, base?
So
Or
that
with
is, with this, it's a total of 10. Thankfully, no crit. It has Vicious 2, which doesn't apply. It does have, that also doesn't apply. Okay. There is another special thing that didn't trigger, so.
Okay, cool. So I soak 5 of it, and I have Man, I have parry 4. That's actually, yeah, no, parry 4 will negate the rest of it. So yeah, I'll take the 3 strain to knock the rest of the attack away. So I take no damage.
Okay. So comically, when you were attacking them, it seems like your attacks were just sailing through them and dispersing them. But when they attack you, their teeth actually bite, and you actually feel them barreling into you like they are physical.
Makes sense.
Okay. Then we have another player, and then a whole heap of NPCs. Who wants it?
Should I just go and punch one? No one else is taking it.
Do it.
All right, it's the 2-step by, but otherwise normal.
Yep.
Oh, a triumph.
Add one more setback.
Oh shoot. Nothing.
Okay. So yep, you can likewise kill one, punch one. It poofs. I don't know what you want the triumph to be. I mean, it's a crit, but it's already dead. So
Yeah, it's already dead. What else can you even do if I've only ever used the I'll kill him or crit him before. What else can I do in combat?
You can give an upgrade to the next person.
Yeah, that sounds good. I'll do that.
I'll take their turn if there is one.
we got a whole bunch of NPCs first, and then player.
I imagine some of those are dead though.
Yeah, half of them, 6 are dead. I'm just gonna lop off the bottom 6.
So does that make 7 dead with my punch?
Oh yeah, 7. Sorry. So I'll lop off the bottom 7. Okay, so the 4 remaining are gonna go. Yep, one's gonna go back for Zep. Actually, no, one is gonna go for Argon now.
All right. Should I dodge that? Nah, I won't bother dodging.
Do you have melee defense?
No, I just have a dodge if I want to use it, but yeah.
All right, so that is a total of 8 damage, and you suffer a crit.
So I take no. I have 9 soak, so no damage.
And no
goes into
damage.
his blubber.
The crit
Yeah.
still applies.
Use it's not that bad though. It's not that bad. It's once per session. I can make a hard medical check, and if I make it, I don't get crit.
That's a cool skill.
It's just not that bad. Oh no, it is that bad.
Dun, dun, dun.
Get 3 advantage, but I don't know if that does anything here. I guess I can.
Can recover strain
Yeah,
or
do that.
okay, roll a 1d100.
My first time I got crit, I think. $83, that's pretty high too.
You are winded until the end of the encounter. The target cannot voluntarily suffer strain to activate any abilities or gain additional maneuvers.
Oh, that's not the worst one I could have gotten, I guess.
The hut is gasping at the combat that's happening.
Didn't hurt me, but it like hit me right in the lungs or something.
Okay, one is gonna go for Gunnis. Melee defense, would you like to upgrade any of that cool stuff?
I do not want to upgrade, and I have 0 defense.
And good for you, it misses. He's going to give 2 boost die to the next guy to attack, who is also going to go for Gunnis, just because you said you had never really been damaged the entire campaign.
Well, let's be honest. I'm not really going to be damaged right here either.
Oh yeah, that's right, you have the cool armor. I'm still doing it.
Now the guy that bites me after this will damage me.
Yikes.
Yikes. Woo! Hope he got some teeth on him.
Yeah, that would be a total of 12.
Okay, so there is a loud explosion as my armor discharges, and I soak all the damage.
Alright. Last one to go, and then we got a bunch of players back up. This one's also going for Gunnis now.
This can actually take damage here.
I have you now. He's also passing boost from the last time. Oh my fuck.
Wow.
Alright, I'm going to pass those as boost to the next dog. So 2 players, and then top of the round for more players.
I'll take a turn. So I'm going to bodyguard Argon as a maneuver. I will trade strain for an extra maneuver. I will take the sidestep maneuver. Oh no, they're not ranged, are they? Yeah, it's a waste of time. I will just do the bodyguard, and then I will take the improved field commander. Okay, so anybody that wants to can take a maneuver first strain immediately.
Oh, but I can't because I'm tired.
Winded.
So anybody else that wants to can, and that's my turn.
Maneuver for 1 strain, you say?
Correct.
I will take an aim on one of these dogs then, in preparation.
Yeah, I can move in to engage with another one.
Okay, we got another player. TBG.
Yep. I'm going to, I guess, maneuver using that free maneuver to get in close range, from short to close, and go hog wild. I've already stressed. Strain. And I'm gonna cut some ghost wolves up. What's the difficulty?
It's 2 purple, 2 black.
2 perps, 2 black. Any advantage floating around? Okay. Swing, bada, bada, swing. Look at that. That was a plus 7 points of damage. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 14 points of damage and a crit.
Okay, I mean, you kill it, so the crit doesn't help much. You want to use the triumph for something else?
Hack backs into the front of the van and it accidentally starts. Give it a little boost. I don't know. Maybe the weather clears. The spooky, oppressive shit starts to fade away as we kill all these things.
Yeah, that works. It's the clouds start to clear up. The creepy wind stops howling, and maybe you start to see a little bit better because of some moonlight coming down on you. Yeah, that works.
Awesome.
All right, 3 players. There are 5 more of these things still alive. Sorry, 4 more.
We want to keep the same order. Alice first.
Yeah, sure. No.
Oh, did anyone upgrade from my Triumph yet?
I don't think so.
Oh, Alice might want to. I don't know if you have anything to upgrade there. No, doesn't look it.
The upgrade would just be from 3 yellow to 3 yellow and a green. So
The green could still make it a success if it got 2 successes.
It's true, yeah, but
That's a hard roll. Does it have to be the next player, or can it be anyone in this turn round?
Yeah, I mean, I could take it, and it would go from 2 yellow and 2 green to 3 yellow and 1 green.
It's upgrade any allied character's next check, including that of the current. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna do that. I'm gonna use the advantage to heal strain because I was running a bit low. Alice just whiffs. Epic saber battle with this vape dog.
Ooh, so Zep is going to use one of his teacher skills or specialty abilities to kind of give Alice a pointer and say, it's not that you didn't hit it, it's that it dodged. Next time, just remember to sense with your feelings where it's going to go, and basically, since you failed a maneuver or since you failed a check, you can if you get to act again, I'll assist you in your next ability or check.
Oh, cool.
You cannot hit your target if you do not target your hit.
Exactly. Okay, so I guess Zep will go use that upgrade and that aim maneuver. He's actually going to aim again just to really go crazy with this. So another large piece of debris comes flying out of nowhere at one of these things. There we go. So that's going to be 22 damage. I'll take... Well, I mean, unless you have something to do with that, I'll take the strain. And, man, I guess 1 crit and the next... Well, actually, it's gonna die.
Yeah, it's either way.
I think in the interest of time, we can also say that just kills 2 of them.
I'd be down with that if everyone else is, but I'd also be down with upgrading the next player's check and downgrading the next enemy's check.
You gotta roll your force die also, I think.
Why? Yeah, I gotcha.
Man, that force...
I'll take 1 conflict and 1 strain.
Yeah, it's like actually 2 rolls in one. It's like the force die to activate, and then the ranged attack.
Throwing boulders at these things?
Or just giant masses of sand, because I hate sand.
Yeah. So I'll take the additional conflict, and I'm gonna lose morality this time around. That's just guaranteed. So yeah, another massive boulder comes out and squashes one of them, and it's gonna, I guess, kind of scramble the remaining ones a little bit so that the next one is demoralized, and it's simultaneously gonna improve morale to our group. So the next person to attack is gonna upgrade.
Cool. Another player up.
I may as well shoot them again.
This might just kill them all.
Kill them all.
Auto fire rules.
Okay, so I have a carried forward aim. I guess I will aim again.
Upgrade too.
There's an... Oh, from Zap, yeah. 3 upgrades. And then 2 black, 2 perp.
Yep.
Yeah.
I like all those blank dice.
Yeah, me too.
It's a hell of a roll.
Yeah, I will just mow down the last 3.
Okay.
And is there anything the Triumph gets us as an ongoing effect here? More, strengthens our will against future visions?
I think maybe you can, your choice, you can do it as that against the hallucinations, or you can maybe make seeing vape dogs easier should they ever come back.
We could. Could we get less lost? I don't remember if we're there yet with the perception rolls. Yeah. Let's do vape dog defense.
Okay. That'll reduce their 2 black die by 1, so it's only 1 more black die, or 1 less black die. Permanently for vape dogs. All right, cool. So I think, the combat's over now. I think where I want to end this session is maybe like you guys go on your way a little bit, and you wind up in front of the cracked open like tomb doorway that Alice was leading you towards. Once you get there, Alice, since you're taking point, you see, and anybody behind you will also see, you'll see the footprints that you saw in your vision in the sand, sort of going into the tomb and coming back out of it again, the 2 different sets of footprints. Even though we just had a huge windstorm, those footprints are still there in the sand.
Because I saw the future, and the future is now. I told the rest of the group. It's like, look, fresh footprints, and there seems to be 2 sets, so whoever's here is not alone.
Yeah, I'm also going to say they are both going in at this point. So whatever's in there, unless there's another exit, is still in there. The footprints, one of them looks like a normal human footprint. Does anybody have xenology?
A little bit.
Give me a 1 purple, 1 red xenology.
Got it. 2 to spare, though.
Okay. Take some strain. One of the footprints, like I said, is human. The other pair of footprints you recognize as belonging to the Quarren race.
Oh, it's
Those
a
are those
Quarren.
squid head people.
Yeah.
We have bumped into a Quarren Dark Force user before.
Yeah, Alice looks at Zep and goes, not being racist here, because Quarrens are... I don't want to draw any conclusions.
That's a Quarren going into a Sith temple.
Yes, it's a Quarren going to a Sith temple.
So here's our closer for the day. Gunnis is just going to turn around and say, "Is this the beginning of a joke?"
Nice. All right, 15 XP, normal session XP for everybody. No side quest stuff yet, but we're getting there. Zep, what's that force roll for?
Do I sense anyone within medium range?
No.
Okay.
Both Zep and Alice, please do some conflict rolling.
Yeah. All right.
TBG, I'm gonna get with you over sometime in the next couple of days. I'll just reach out, and then whenever you're available, just let me know back.
Sounds good, man.
Drone, same thing. I know you're busy today and tomorrow. And everybody here should wish Drone a happy birthday.
Oh, happy birthday.
Happy birthday, John!
Happy birthday!
It's tomorrow, but thank you.
You're damn right your secret's out.
Happy birthday,
We can't
John.
afford that. We can't afford that. We're taping.
Oh,
Wah wah.
still happy birthday though.
Thanks for the session, guys.
Yep.
Okay,
Thanks,
good game,
guys.
everyone.
Thanks.
Thanks,
Thank you,
all.
guys.
Later.